The BlackBerry Z10 debuts the new BlackBerry 10 operating system. How does it compare to the most successful Android smartphone of the moment, the Samsung Galaxy S3 LTE? Let's take a closer look. The BlackBerry Z10 feels tough, but the styling is a little underwhelming, although matte accents, metal buttons and a patterned back differentiate it from the rest of the market. With a curved white plastic chassis and silver trim, the Samsung Galaxy S3 LTE really stands out from the crowd. However, it feels very plasticky. The Z10 is more manageable with one hand, though the Galaxy S3 LTE's curved back means it's more comfortable to hold. Both phones have 16GB internal storage, 11.3GB is usable on the BlackBerry and 10.94GB is usable on Samsung. Samsung also comes in 32 and 64GB versions. Both include microSD expansion slots. Samsung supports 64GB and the BlackBerry Z10 supports 32GB, although it may support higher capacities with a future firmware upgrade. Both include Bluetooth 4, NFC, dual-band Wi-Fi, DLNA and HDMI, along with support for multiple 4G bands. The Samsung Galaxy S3 LTE has a 4.8-inch screen with a 720 by 1280 HD resolution and 310 pixels per inch. The BlackBerry Z10 has a smaller 4.2-inch screen with the same 1280 by 768 HD resolution, but a higher pixel rating of 356 pixels per inch. This means text is sharper, but the difference is negligible. The BlackBerry Z10 uses an LCD panel, while the Galaxy S3 uses AMOLED technology. It's personal preference which one you prefer. Colours are punchier and more eye-popping and black's deeper on the Samsung Galaxy, but whites are purer and skin tone's more natural on the BlackBerry. Off-angle viewing is great on both phones, but the Samsung Galaxy does have a blue AMOLED tint. The BlackBerry Z10 runs BB10, and the Samsung Galaxy S3 LTE Android Jelly Bean with Samsung's TouchWiz Nature UX interface. The two operating systems are incredibly different with strengths and weaknesses. Navigate the Galaxy using the conventional method of tapping the home button to leave applications. The Z10 uses BlackBerry Flow. Here you use gestures to move between applications and quickly peek into your messages. Flow is more unusual and takes time to become familiar with. It's also got a few quirks, often requiring a few more taps than needed. The Samsung is a lot more flexible. With a home screen you can personalise with active widgets, shortcuts and detailed swap down notifications. But the number of customisation options can be overwhelming. The BlackBerry Z10 supports true multitasking. It has the excellent BlackBerry Hub and the best keyboard we've used on a smartphone, but it lacks customisation options. The BlackBerry Z10 has a dual-core 1.5 GHz processor with 2GB of RAM. The Samsung Galaxy S3 LTE has a quad-core chip with 2GB of RAM. Both phones feel quick, but the Samsung slightly edges it, loading web pages slightly quicker. We've got a few niggles regarding the Z10, namely crashes and sluggish boot times, gripes we hope BlackBerry can rectify with a future firmware update. The Samsung Galaxy has a 2100 mAh battery and the Z10 has an 1800 mAh battery. With moderate use, the battery lasts until the end of the day on both phones. However, use multimedia more and the Z10 will die earlier. Both phones have an 8-megapixel camera with autofocus and flash, but neither is market leading like the Nokia 920. Colours from the Samsung Galaxy are more natural with less noise, but they can look washed out. The Galaxy does offer a greater array of filters and features, enabling you to make more tweaks in camera. Features are scant on the Z10, although we really like Time Shift, which lets you select an individual frame. Both capture full HD movies. Footage from the Samsung is much sharper with bolder colours though. The Samsung Galaxy S3 LTE is a more rounded device. It's more powerful, with better hardware, a more flexible interface and a greater choice of apps. The BlackBerry Z10 has respectable hardware and it's certainly a great device for messaging, but it's less of an all-rounder and needs a firmware upgrade to sort some niggles out. We should also mention the Samsung Galaxy S4. Will it blow both these phones out of the water?